Hello, it's Crafty Ria, and welcome to another video. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I will be doing something different. I've never done this before. I am making rainbow sherbet. No, I'm kidding. It looks like I am because I have those colors. I will be making a spring explosion box. And I chose these three colors of paper, this pink, the cream, and the green. And this pink's going to be the lid. And I'm going to use this paper from Echo Park, the Spring Market collection. And as you can see, these three colors go really well with it. I'm also going to be using some of the Flower Market paper. This is single-sided paper, but it has a lot of coordinating designs in it. And I'll be using a little bit of stuff from both, and these colors seem to match it perfectly. So what you need to make an explosion box, you need 3 pieces of 12 by 12 paper and then a smaller piece of paper. You'll be making 3 layers to the box, and the first piece of paper will be 12 by 12. The second piece of paper will be 11 1/4 by 11 1/4 square, so it's 3/4 of an inch smaller. And then the third piece of paper is 10 1/2 inches square. And then the little lid is 6 1/8 inches square. Okay, so I'm going to score my papers first. I'm going to take the 12 by 12 sheet and put it on my scoreboard and score it at 4 inches. Rotate, score again at 4 inches, rotate, score at 4 inches, and rotate one more time and score at 4 inches. This leaves you 9 equal squares. They're 4-inch squares all the way across. And then I will take my middle sheet of paper, which measures 11 1/4 inches square, and I'm going to score this one at 3 3/4. Rotate, score at 3 3/4. Rotate score at 3 3/4, and then one more time at 3 3/4, and then you get 9 equal squares on this one. And then the smallest sheet measures 10 1/2 inch square, and I'm going to score this one at 3 1/2. Rotate, score at 3 1/2. Rotate, 3 1/2, and then on the fourth side, the same thing, 3 1/2. And then I'm going to take my lid, which matches the largest sheet of paper in color, at least for me. This measures 6 1/8, and I'm going to score it at 1 inch. Rotate, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. So this one you don't get equal squares because this is going to be the lid. And then you could put your scoreboard aside. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can use a ruler and a soft mat if you have it, a magazine or something that'll allow you to get a little bit of an indentation into your paper. Okay, now we have the largest sheet of paper, and what we're going to do is cut this into a cross. You can use a scissor or a paper trimmer, and you're going to cut off these 4 outside boxes right along your score line. To do that, I'm going to use this style of a paper trimmer because obviously this style will not work for this. You can also use scissors. It is up to you. So I'm going to line this up in here, and I'm going to place that score line. It's hard to see on the camera, but I'm going to place it right lined up with this little channel where it's going to cut. So I'm going to line it up. I'm going to go by the bottom here, and on this type of paper trimmer, there is a little line. You might not be able to see it. There you go. There's that little line. That is lined up with where the blade is. So when you place your paper here, you know where to put this blade. And you're going to line that little mark up with that score line. And just score. Then I'm going to move it over and do the same thing on this piece. And then I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing over here. And then do the same thing over here. And then I'm going to go in this direction and cut those flaps completely off. And just take it right up to that other score line. And do the same thing with this one. And as you can see, these will come off. And I'm going to do it this way. I didn't cut the first ones all the way to the score line. That's my problem. I'm going to take my scissors and just cut into the center. I was afraid to cut too much. There we go, and there is our first plus sign. I'm going to set these aside because I may use them for matting later. I'm going to go ahead and do this same thing to the other two pieces. All right, I have the 3 crosses cut out, or the 3 plus signs, or whatever you want to call them, and that's going to be the base of my explosion box. I'm going to go ahead and cut the lid. Now we have a score line here and a score line here. I'm just going to use my scissors for this one, and I'm going to cut this piece here right up to that score line. Then I'm going to rotate my paper and cut that same piece over here. Rotate and cut. Rotate and cut. So then I have these 4 little flaps, kind of in a pinwheel shape. Okay, I'm going to set these aside, and I will show you how the lid goes together. First of all, I'm going to turn it over so the bump of the fold is, or the crease score is up, and I'm going to fold this piece in, and I'm going to just go around and do that to all of the pieces. And then I'm going to fold these little flaps in as well, right along the crease. And then I will be adhering those flaps like that. But before I do that, I want to decorate the top. So we have a square here that measures 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. I have this piece that says fresh from the garden, and it measures 4 by 6, but I can cut it down to 4 by 4 to mat on here. I thought this piece was really cute, and it went really well and brought all of the colors together. This is one of the cut-aparts in that pad of paper because it is single-sided. So let me cut this here. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I want to use my centering ruler because I want to make sure I cut it 4 inches on each side, or make it 4 inches total. It's 6 inches wide. So here's my 0 mark. Here's my 3-inch and my 3-inch. So I want to make this 4 inches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to mark here and here. And that way I make sure when I cut it that it is centered. So here is what we're left with, and it says fresh from the garden. And I'm going to adhere this down to the center of the lid. I have some runaway adhesive. Just have to be careful about that. Get some of that extra adhesive off of the edge. And then when we fold it in, that will be centered. So on these little flaps here that fold in, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on each one. I use this little tape runner because it's easier to put adhesive on small pieces. And then I'm going to 1 by 1 line it up evenly and fold those pieces in. So there is the lid. If you have any pieces that are sticking out, you can always just give them a little bit of a trim. And I thought for around the edge of this, I'm going to use this washi tape. It is this pink washi tape, but you can see it goes really, really well with this pattern. So I'm just going to carefully start at one end over here and put this around. This is hard because I have this flap over here. Once I get it started, it'll be easier. There we go. So I'm going to put that there and then have it go around all four sides. And then I'm just going to trim that little piece and fold it over right there. I wanted to trim it right before that blue flower so I didn't have two blue flowers next to each other. And just make sure it's stuck down really good. And that is the lid, and I may add some embellishments to it later, but I just wanted to show you the basic part of the lid. Then I'm going to come back to these pieces. I'm going to fold them and score them. I want the ridge or the bump of the score to be face up, and then I'm going to fold this way. And I'm going to do it to all four sides. So that is the outside box. And this is how it will look with the lid on. I'm going to do the other two the same way, have the bump up and score all four sides, or fold and crease all four sides. If you don't have a bone folder, you can use something that you have that can crease the paper, the edge of your scissors, or oh, I don't know. Like this part of your scissor, you can do that to crease it. If you don't have something to make the score line, you can use a ballpoint pen that has run out of ink. So this is going to go together like this. Once it's all decorated, I will attach it all together and it will fold up and the lid will go on like that. You'll have a box and then you take the lid off and you have your explosion. And the inside will be all decorated up and there'll be a surprise in the very middle. So I'm going to go ahead and get to decorating and I will come back and show you how it is when I decorate it and how I actually put it together. I will decorate it before I adhere these three pieces together. So it'll be a little while for me, but it'll be just like that for you. Catch it in a few. I did want to show you how I'm covering this. I cut 4 squares of this paper. It matches the lid. And I cut them at 3 7/8 because each of these flaps is 4 inches. And then I am just adhering them to the flap. And remember, this is the top of the box and that's the bottom of the box. So you kind of have to decide which way you want your print to go. This print does not really matter. It goes in each direction. But if you have a print that is directional, be sure you have it going in the right direction. And then I also covered the inside flaps with these two papers. They're similar and they match. First I had this as the outside, but then when I put it together, I realized I did not like it with the lid. And I remembered I had that paper that matches the lid. So I will go ahead and put the lid on to show you how the outside of the box looks, which I absolutely love this. I think that looks so pretty. So that's what the outside of the box is going to look like. And then we have this first layer. I'm going to work on covering the other two layers the same way. I will cut them 1/8 of an inch smaller than the square, and that way you have about a 1/16 of an inch mat all the way around. I may use some of these little cut aparts for on there instead of just the decorative paper. I'll see how it goes as it goes, and I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I want to show you where I am at. I have the box covered and not quite put together. So here's the outside of the box. I had this scrap piece left over, so I just stuck that on the bottom to make a wooden bottom, a fake wooden bottom. And then when you take the top off, it explodes like that. So we have the 3 layers. We have this layer. I'll show you each separately. This layer, and we have this that says bloom and grow, and this says hello there. And the back of that looks like that. And then this layer, we have these florals. In the back, we have these trucks, which I love, and some of that wood. And then this is the outer layer, and that's the outside of the box. So we're going to go ahead and put these together. I have to decide if I want it to be a certain way. I don't think it matters. I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on here. You want to use a pretty strong adhesive for this part. I'm going to put some extra in the middle. I know this ATG adhesive is pretty strong, so I feel confident using this. And then I'm going to line this up. I'm going to kind of fold these in just so I can see what I'm doing here when I line it up. There we go. So we have the 2 layers stuck together, and now I'll do the same thing with this one. I'll put adhesive on the back. And then I will fold in a couple of these sides just to see where I'm at and line this up in the center. And I'll push that down really good so all 3 pieces are stuck together. So you have your little explosion box. So I'll put it together and open it again because it is so much fun. There we have the outside of it, and then you open it up and it explodes open. Now there are some tutorials that I've seen that put a lid on this one and also put a lid on this one. I like when the whole thing opens up as one. I'm going to go ahead and put some bling and some embellishments on the inside. For example, I have this tag that I cut out of one of the cut aparts, and I matted it on pink, and I thought it might look nice maybe there or on one of these, since it kind of matches those flowers. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put that yet. And I have like this piece. It says, "You make me happy." That could go something like that on one of those. And I have a lot of these little scraps left over that I could make into tags or different things, maybe cut them out and use them as embellishments in there. I have cut-aparts that would work. Here's like another tag that I could cut apart. I also have this sheet that I could maybe punch out these circles and add them in there. And then there's also these squares that I can use as embellishments. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put where, but I will go through it one by one and put it together, add some bling, of course, and some fun stuff. And then I will add a surprise gift inside here. So there you go. I hope you enjoy this box, explosion box. I will be back when it is all done and show you what it looks like. So I will catch you in a few. Alrighty, I am back with the reveal of the explosion box that I made. Here's all 4 sides. I just put a little flower with some bling up at the top. And the bottom, I did put my stamp and just some wood paper. So then when you take the top off, it explodes. I love it. I lined the inside of the lid, and of course it has some washi tape around the edge of the lid. And here are my finished pages. I just put a flower on this one with an enamel dot in the middle. I put some pearls around the sentiments of a little cute little dragonfly acrylic sticker there. I have some glittery trim that I used at the bottom, and I used the acrylic dots in the middle of the bicycle wheels and then also for a hubcap, and I did that on both pieces. And then the next level we have here, I just put one of those butterfly stickers that are from the Dollar Tree. I put more of this trim. Here I put a cut apart with some bling and another one of those dragonflies. Over here I have just a tag that was cut out of the same collection with a leftover little green flower that was on my desk that was left over from Monday Night Live, probably a couple Mondays ago by the time you see this. And this one here says, "You make me happy." And I put bling around the top there and another one of those dragonfly stickers. And then on the final outer layer, I just took some 3-dimensional flower stickers and stuck some in there. I thought that was cute. On this side, we just have another tag. And on this side, I put another one of those big flowers with a pink center. And on this one, I just put one of those butterflies. I think they are from the Dollar Tree. And on the outside of this one here, I just put some washi tape that I thought went well with it. I think I did it on this side. Yeah, I did it on that side. And this just had the trucks. I didn't want to do too many thick layers of embellishments together because they all do have to stack, and I didn't want to take up too much room. And so for the very center, you can put a little gift. You can put something like a little candle. It would fit in there just fine. Of course, I would wrap that. And You could put a little box of jewelry or something in one of these cute little containers, whatever it is that you want to put in there, just a small box as long as it's smaller than the outside. And then you could put the lid on. And then when they open it, their gift is in the center. And then you have all of your cute little embellishments that they can look at. And you could put a little to from tag here if you'd like. I hope you enjoyed this embellishment box, or I mean this explosion box. It is full of embellishments. It was a whole lot of fun to make. I really enjoyed it. I will be mailing it, and I'm going to put it in a thicker, heavy-duty cardboard box so it doesn't get crushed in the mail. You could mail it flat, but then you would need a 12 by 12 envelope, and then it would also take away some of the fun of opening it like this. This was a whole lot of fun to make. If you've ever made one, please leave a comment below and let me know. Also, I'd love to see your work if you head on over to Create with Crafty Rhea, my Facebook group. I would love to see you share your work over there. The ladies are awesome there. And then also, if you want to be notified when I upload more videos like this, please be sure to click on the bell, which is right under the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And until the next video, you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.